Good morning, everybody. I wanted to invite you to a new journey that I'm getting ready to go on. And basically what I'm going to be doing is starting a new Facebook Live every day. It is going to be on a new Facebook page that I'm in the process of finishing the setup on. And it is the site's going to be called Teach Them to Obey Everything. And the point of the site is for all of you who are out there that are Christians, people who are believers, people who want to be believers, people who grew up believing but their faith is struggling, or they're having issues with their faith, or they're wondering, do they really have faith? And really just being a resource to people to encourage you. So in the end of Matthew, Jesus, before he leaves, he talks about how we are meant to teach people to obey everything. We're meant to encourage people. We're meant to help each other. We're meant to build each other up. We're meant to lift each other's arms up and help each other be faithful and be strong and be courageous. And so that is the purpose of this, for me to encourage you and for me to hopefully be an inspiration for you in your relationship with God. And one of the things I'd love to share with you today is something from Numbers 20. It is a story about Moses towards the end of his life. He actually was with the Israelites again, walking through the desert, and he gets to a point where he's really frustrated. The Israelites are complaining, and they are, pretty much complaining the whole time they're out there, but they're complaining about water, needing water. And so Moses talks to God about it, and God says, go stand in front of the rock and I'll bring you water. Well, Moses, because he's frustrated about what's going on with the Israelites, he strikes the rock because he basically has like a little fit of rage because he's mad. And at that point, God tells Moses that he is not going to get to go in the promised land. And it's interesting when you look at it, you're like, well, why in the world would God have such consequences in that situation? Because a lot of times we do things without thinking, we do things irrationally, we do things in anger, we do things acting out, and we wonder why we have consequences, or we wonder why we're having a hard time. So I think really it's looking at the outcome of that situation, and really where God's trying to get us, what God's trying to teach us, how God's trying to teach us to obey him, how he's trying to teach us to do the right thing, how he's trying to teach us to be examples. And Moses was a very crucial person for the Israelites. He was the man. He was the one meant to lead the people. But Moses wasn't perfect, just like we're not perfect. And sometimes people, I think, when we become believers or when we make a commitment to Christ, we start thinking about how we're supposed to be righteous or what we're supposed to do. And what winds up happening sometimes, and I see this with a lot of people, is that they are thinking about, well, I shouldn't do that or I shouldn't be that, and they're so focused on what they should or shouldn't be, they take their eyes off of God. They take their eyes off of what God says, or what God's promises are, or what God's will is, or what God's commands are, or what we're supposed to obey. And really just setting our eyes on things above and setting our eyes on his promises really fix a lot of things. It fixes a lot of things as far as expectations. It fixes a lot of things as far as our own hearts. It fixes a lot of things as far as helping us set the standards and helping us know which way to go. And so part of what we'll be doing as we go through this journey together is going to be exploring that, exploring your relationship with God, exploring who is God, God the Father, the Son, the Spirit, the Trinity, and what does he expect? What are his commands? What are the things that we need to obey? How do you obey? How do you make sure you're obeying the right way? Because sometimes you can feel like you're doing the right things, but things aren't working out. So those are the kinds of things that we're going to be discussing as we go. The site is being finished today, so I will hopefully have it up and running. I'll tag this so that if you would like to join me along this journey and have some encouragement every day from the Word to help you build your faith and build your relationship with God, I would love to have you join me. And so I'll tag that here, and I'll probably be doing some Facebook Lives here periodically just to help tag that site. And eventually we'll wind up with a website, we'll wind up with a podcast, and also the Facebook Live. So I am excited that you guys are here today. Thank you for everybody so far that has joined me today, and I look forward to going on this journey with all of you. Bye-bye. Have a great day.